Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle-earth. My name is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by the long-suffering Gryfflet, who has been sitting here in the midst of the carnage and destruction of Martin for an entire week, just waiting to finish up our Martin quests. I think this is subconsciously why I was pushing. I pushed beyond my time limit last time to try to get through all the Martin quests because I didn't want to leave poor Gryfflet here in the midst of devastation, which is quite sad. But he's been very patient, as is his wont, and so he is now ready to go and continue up and at him, Gryfflet, and let's get back to things here and figure out what's going on. So good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys have had a good week. Glad to be back with you guys again, especially since I was not able to do the majority of my broadcasts this week. I did do Wednesday, but I wasn't here on Tuesday again. So anyway, I think I just need a few more orcs, and then we go off to the boss fight, I think, and that's it. So we're getting there. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let me get a lore question up while I'm working on this here. Okay. All right. My first lore question here. Phil was asking, did Faramir ever find out that Aragorn was Thorongil? Really great question. That's actually really fun to imagine. First of all, yeah, he has to have. I mean, that must have happened. I mean, it will have become known. I don't see any reason, I don't see any evidence that Aragorn was like hiding that fact, that he was concealing that fact forever, you know? So yes, I cannot imagine that Faramir did not discover that he was Thorongil. And so it's really fun to imagine what that must have been like, right? So Thorongil will have been a legend, right? Faramir's too young for Thorongil. Denethor was still quite young. It was during the time of Ecthelian stewardship. So I don't remember the dates offhand, but I don't think Faramir was born yet when Aragorn was down doing Thorongil stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's but he would have, he would have learned the stories of Thorongil. I wonder what stories he would have learned, because Denethor, his dad, was the chief rival of Thorongil. So was there any extent to which Thorongil, Denethor rather, was like discouraging the stories, or even had kind of twisted them? How accurate were the legends? I mean, it's one of the things that I really like about the Lotro Pelargir. I love the Thorongil statue in Pelargir. The people of Pelargir are not going to forget Thorongil, right? And many of the, the soldiers, other folks that he was, working with there, would not forget. Oh man. But Denethor, I don't think Denethor would tell like the great stories, you know, of Thorongil. He would downplay, I think, as much as he could, the significance of that. Oh, man. Ripmosh has staked the heads of many Rohirrim victims in Martin's Mead Hall, defiling the corpses in the seat of the Thane. Okay. Burn the severed heads. Okay. All right. Well, let's see how much more I'm biting off than I really can chew here. Here, Archer, come over here. Come on. Oh man, what? I can't. I'm stuck over here? Fine. I'll come over to you. Jerk. Seriously? You're gonna run over there? Since when are archers this smart? Holy cow. To go and hide amidst all the warriors? Oh, it won't let me go around that way. Oh, man, that archer. Forget it, I'm leaving. Made me aggro everybody. Jerk. That was unbelievable. I've never seen anybody do that. Normally, once you approach the archers, they switch to melee. Okay. Yeah, I might need help with this one. So I don't know if Kiriana's available for a little light stealth healing, maybe. Now you, sir. I have something special for you now. Okay. That at least is a little bit better. I can take care of some of these severed heads while waiting for Druid's Fire to arrive. Well, this is really grim, though. This is really sad. It's the first time we've really seen, you know, a Rohirrim mead hall desecrated like this. I mean, we've seen lots of orc camps. You know, and even orc camps with, you know, dead bodies hanging and skeletons in cages, right, and severed heads on spikes. None of that is, you know, too unexpected, you know, too out of the way as far as orc camps are concerned. Okay, guys, can we fight over by the door? Holy cow. Wow. That's a party. Yeah, we got the Thane too, huh? I love it when they say that. I absolutely just love it when they're just like, Nazgul. I mean, I guess in their defense, there aren't so very many vocabulary words in the black speech, you know? So, oh. Oof. Okay. Oh, and then that guy regens. Well, that was a little crazy. Oh, you've lost the game sounds? Oh, so you can't hear him say Nazgul? Well, that's a shame. Hang on a second. Let me fix that. Oh, yeah, I see the problem. Okay. There you go. Nazgul. There you are. Just in time. It's just still a little weird. Ooh, the billowing cloak of Westfold, really? I think I gotta stick with the embroidered cloak. Yeah. Oh, and then that archer's back. Oh, man. They're all back. Oh, good grief. Before I could even do this, finish the severed heads. That was a really fast regen. These guys didn't regen for a long time. Tell you what, I'm just going to go do the severed heads. Okay. And I think that's it, right? Such a wrong cannot be righted, but destroying the orc's hideous work is better than letting it stand. Totally agree. Oh, man. Okay. Sure, I can help destroy him again. There we are. Not that that person seemed to need my help very much. But okay. All right. Yeah, boy, the respawn time was awkward. So I just need to kill one more orc and then we're done. Fine. Let it be you, orc captain. So anyway, back to what I was talking about before about Thorongil and Faramir. I think it would be very interesting to imagine what Faramir knew, because Denethor was not his only potential source of information, right? I wonder if he learned, if Thorongil, if the stories of Thorongil are one of the things that he learned from Gandalf when he became a wizard's pupil and earned that scornful name from his father. That would be very interesting. But anyway, he will certainly have heard of him, and will certainly know that he is like a legendary. So I mean, to Faramir, he is a legendary figure of the history of Gondor, of his grandfather's time, right? And so to discover, I mean, obviously Aragorn as the heir of Elendil and everything else, right? Wielding the sword of Elendil, you know, the heir of Isildur, wielding the sword of Elendil, you know, calling Faramir back from death. There's all kinds of reasons why Faramir is already going to be looking at Aragorn as a living legend, and to find the entire, like to find that Aragorn is himself also like a living legend, you know, himself in his own right, yet another legend come to life, is what I think be pretty amazing. Well, let's see where we are here. There must be a, okay. Find survivors who escaped Martin. Okay, I think that's our next goal there, having closed the other ones. It is likely any survivors from Martin fled north into the trees and stony hills. Okay, so we're going to search north of Martin for survivors. Great. Time to get out of this town. Oh, wait. But more importantly, time to check out that new cloak. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let's equip that cloak here. Where'd it go? There it is. Because it's an upgrade anyway. And it looks exactly the same. Okay, fine. No change. Well, all right. Once again, all the cosmetics in these regions look exactly alike, which really is a disappointment. Even just to have another logo on it, you know? Like, they all have their own symbols. Would that be too much to ask? Oh, well. Okay. All right. Put on my hat, and we'll head north to see whom we can find here as far as survivors are concerned. And we're still searching for Arkenbrand. Can we get up this way? No. Gotta go around. Excuse me, Mr. Isengard Invader, I'm going around. Hang on a second. Oh, I gotta go way around. In fact, I think I'm barking up the wrong tree entirely. Let me go back around to that road. Approach this from the other side, I think. Yeah, Stephen, I agree with you that it is interesting that the tension between Faramir and... Wait. Many promising hiding spots. Yes, I agree. Tell you what, why are we doing this on a war steed? That's just madness. Okay, I'm liking the look of this little pass into the rocks here. I agree, but that is so. The obvious favoritism, right, towards Boromir of Denethor could easily, in some cases, have led to a resentment of Boromir by Faramir, right? But does not seem to do so. But that, I think, is that it's not impossible. And what it shows to me, what it suggests to me, JJ, is that it suggests to me Boromir's own generosity of character, right? I assume that the primary reason Faramir doesn't end up just resenting Boromir is because Boromir is good to him, right? Boromir may even, take Faramir's part and try to help and support him. The devotion, the admiration and devotion of Faramir to Boromir is pretty clear. And that, to me, says a lot for Boromir, who could easily have not done that, right? I mean, he could easily have let his father's favoritism go to his head, right? But he clearly doesn't. He seems to have been a really good brother. And at least from Faramir's own experience of Boromir, that seems to be the case to me. And I really like that. And yeah, Phil, it is, I think, a really good reminder. Boromir, it's easy to kind of get down on Boromir because his primary role, is the one who succumbs to the temptation of the ring. But I think it's pretty clear that all the evidence suggests that Boromir is a really great guy and really admirable. And therefore his fall, sort of the more tragic. Yeah, Edith, I like that line about Pippin admiring his lordly and kindly way, right? And that's a really interesting combination, actually, right? That he admires him for his lordliness is not surprising. Boromir is lofty, right? He is admirable. He is a great warrior and a great, he just has stature, right? Which Pippin recognizes and admires, but he is also kindly. He's not stuck up. He's not arrogant. He's not full of himself. He's kind and generous to others, and seems to have been with Faramir as well as apparently with the hobbits as well. And I agree, JJ, that Boromir was clearly less wise than Faramir. But we see throughout the series that wisdom does not automatically equal good. No, in some ways, certainly not. With Saruman, of course, most obviously, but also with Sauron, who is himself very wise. So yes. The fact that Faramir is obviously a good deal more intelligent than Boromir doesn't mean that Boromir is not good. And yes, JJ, you're right. Denethor is both wise and greatly flawed. Yeah, we see a lot of kind of variations there. Okay, anyway, sorry. This is Agelwin. Oh dear, she looks like a widow, I fear. And a bunch of refugees. Egelnoth over there. Where is my husband Gladsunu? Have you come to tell me of him? Is he in good health? When can he come back? He is Thane and we need him. He has been holding the fords, but the fords were lost. Please tell me of my husband. Oh dear. Well, I'm working on that. No, I have heard nothing of Erkenbrand or Grimbold or any of them. I care only for news of my husband Gladsunu. We had a rider telling us of the fords, that the fords of Isen had fallen, but no news of my husband in Thane. And not long after the orcs came and we fled. Did I do right? Perhaps we should have fought. I am no leader. Please do not ask me anything else. I do not know. I am distraught. Okay. All right, Agelwin. We gotta help you out here. We are all going to rot here without food or shelter. I have lost my husband's city. Oh dear. Is this a flashback?
The young wife of Thane Gladsunu of Martin has a difficult task set before her in her husband's absence. As she awaits his return, their town has fallen, and the people of Martin need a leader now more than ever.
That is so true. Come on, Agelwin. I miss my husband. Well, this is an important comma. I miss my husband, Gryfflet. No, my husband, Gryfflet. Would that he were here. I would give anything for news of Gladsunu. Agelwin is distraught under the pressure of responsibility that is settled on her shoulders. When we heard the forts had fallen, we were all afraid. Then the orcs approached in the night, torches in their hands. Elstan woke me and pushed me out the door, and I went with him while he raised the alarm. We all owe him our lives. I am grateful that my husband left him to protect us while our soldiers were gone. But now everyone looks to me for answers. I cannot give any. I am no leader. My husband Gladsunu is Thane, not I. I still remember the day he left. Wouldn't it be awesome if we started another instance within, like a flashback within a flashback? Oh, close. Okay. I love these like imagined flashbacks. The ghost character flashbacks. These are so cool. I've never been so sad in my life. I remember our last conversation like it was yesterday. My dear Agelwin, do not fear. I will be with Erkenbrand and the Lords of the Mark. I would much rather you stayed here to protect Martin. Surely Erkenbrand would understand. You have your duties as a Thane. Dude, so do they all. That is not the way of things, dear wife. I will ride to battle, for Rohan, not for Martin. This is larger than you and me, larger than Martin, larger even than the Westfold. Dear wife. It's very touching. Do not cry. You must be strong, and lead our people in my stead if need arises. I cannot. I am no warrior. You needn't be a warrior. I leave Elstan with you. He is my strongest and most loyal soldier. You may be young and inexperienced, but you are clever as can be. I know you will do well. That's right, Agelwin. He's relying on you. Humph? Humph is her answer? If the unthinkable happens, you must lead our people to Helm's Deep, Agelwin. It is the safest place in all of Rohan. Tell me that you understand. And you'd better hoof it. At this point, people. All right, Agelwin. You heard what your husband told you. And here is my predicament. Should I really urge these people to make for Helm's Deep? Is this a trick question? How do I know when that dire time is here? What if I wait too long? Already close. Or go when I should stay and fight? You assure Agelwin that King Theoden himself has retreated to Helm's Deep and urges everyone he sees to do the same. If Agelwin wishes to heed her husband's advice and make for Helm's Deep, now is the time. Absolutely. Oh, someone's coming? Oh, Mr. Refugee. Forgive the interruption, Lady Agelwin. It is no matter. What do you need? To go to Helm's Deep before we all get slaughtered. Do you not think it is time we take back Martin? Oh boy. Yeah. It does not seem right to leave your Thane husband's town to the orcs while he is lost at the fords. I do not know what we should do. Yes, you do, Agelwin. Yes, you do. I think you will find it is clear to everyone that we drive the orcs from Martin, my lady. I know you are new to acting as Thane, but I am certain you will arrive at the same conclusion in time. I only wish to advise you, the time to act is now. Oh dear. Elston, can you please talk some sense into that dude? Okay. A telling ellipsis from Elston. Now what do I do, Gryfflet? I do not have the experience to see what is right. In my heart, though, I wish to do as my beloved Gladsunu bade me. So do it. That's just what you should do. Okay, Elston. Oh, Agelwin, let's figure this out. You are right. I am convinced I must act as a leader now, however uncomfortable the role may be. You assure Agelwin that she will learn as she goes, and that she will have help as long as you can spare it. Absolutely, I'm here to help. I have even more doubts than when we began our conversation. You encourage Agelwin to choose what she wants to do, whether it is listening to her husband or listening to her people, and stand by her decision. I will try it. I hope it makes things easier. You must choose only one of the 3 styles of leadership. Okay. You mean I'm not going to be railroaded into like a particular ending of this quest? I love it. Oh man, where were you at Woodhurst? How do I know which one is which? Strength in leadership, the will of the people, not the will of the people. The will of the people is dumb. The wisdom of counsel? Strength in leadership? I believe that I should issue a strong command, for that is what my husband would have done. We should go to Helm's Deep as Gladsunu bade me. The king is there. There is no other way, I think. Is that right? Yeah, do that. Yeah. Let's do that. Whoa, everybody wants to talk about this. All right, hang on, Elston. Let me canvass the people. Hey, guys. Pack up. Time to go to Helm's Deep. I cannot believe we would abandon the lands of our forefathers. A vile decision. Tell the lady that. Okay? Fine. Helm's Deep? Why, that is nonsense. I have a hard time thinking that they wouldn't support this. First of all, like, seriously? They're all unarmed going to go and drive the orcs out? It is foolish to ride across when our home is in ruins? Come on now. I am not passing on these messages. Hooray! It'd be an honor to fight for him there. Great. One person who sees sense. Okay, right. Also, yeah. Oh, hey, we're not qualified to fight off the orcs. Okay, right. You don't think we could win because you have a brain. Oh, good. This half of the town agrees with her. But this is not a democracy, people.
There are not enough Kurds
This man does not seem to speak much, but he bows his assent. He has not left Agelwin's side, and it seems he is as loyal to her as he was to Gladsunu. Great. Okay. Elstan is with you. It's 5-4, huh? Okay. It's a close vote. Okay. Count yourself lucky you've not angered everyone. That's right. Strong work, Agelwin. I've made a decision, but my path does not seem any less complicated. I hope I do not steer my people wrong. You'll be fine, Agelwin. Great job. Now that I know we are going to Helm's Deep, I would have your counsel. Which way should we go? Is it safe to pass Martin? There are 2 roads coming from the north on either side of the town, but I would not usher my people down to them if they are not safe. Maybe investigate the river as well. Scout some possible routes. Sure. Yeah, no, you should totally hurry. As the orc hordes are closing in on Helm's Dike. So, yeah, by all means, let's move. Okay. So let's see. Where am I scouting? Yeah, into Martin, right? I'm pretty sure that one's a no-go. And then the road and then the river. The river, huh? What are they going to build rafts? Maybe there are boats available. Yeah. But anyway, I can say, look, it's not that I have a hard time believing that some of them are going to not want to abandon their homes, but they've already abandoned their homes. So, that's kind of a done deal, actually. But secondly, I have a hard time believing that any of them would say something like, retreat to Helm's Deep? That is a mad idea. Okay. Something on the western side of Martin has been felling trees. Right. Well, maybe the hordes of orcs that I've already met. So, yeah. Wait a second. What am I supposed to do? Follow the trail of the felled trees? Okay. Oh, there's one. Where? Okay. Oh, so where are we exactly? No ent. Quests here, probably. Ent-related quests. Okay. Broken tree there. There's one down here. Anyway, like I said, I have a hard time imagining that they would actually say, retreating to Helm's Deep, that's a mad idea. I mean, it would certainly be accepted, wouldn't it? I mean, Erkenbrand, his center of power is there. When there are times of trouble, wait, there's a dude right there. Starts quest, challenge warrior trolls. I don't know that I necessarily want a part of warrior trolls. I don't see any compelling plot-oriented reason to challenge the warrior trolls. For rep? Yeah. I've discovered Shatortham? Have I? What is Shatortham? Oh, it's a little camp. Oh, it's a little troll camp. Oh, and this is where the felled trees were leading me, huh? right, let's see how we do. These guys shouldn't be too bad. Oh, come on. Stunned me just as I was about to slay you. Okay. What do we have here? No, I really don't need the warband, thanks. But the trolls are resting here before a final march to haul the siege weapons to Helm's Gate and beyond. Okay. Hey, we can help. So I'm supposed to defeat the pullers. All right, well, those pullers weren't so bad. But hey, if we can be part of the war effort, now that's a plot-oriented reason, so I'm good with that. We can destroy some siegecraft. Yeah. We can make a big difference. Excuse me, Shatortham Power, could you back up a little bit? I'd like to fight you separately, if you don't mind. So I'm very patient, and I'm going to wait here patiently for you to move, okay? Because that's an inconvenient place for you to stand. So in the meantime, I'm going to go back to another lore question. There he comes. Okay. Right, okay, so Tomas had been asking before, why does Treebeard tell Merry and Pippin that Gandalf is the only wizard who cares about trees? Wouldn't you think Radagast also may? Really good question. Okay. It is possible, of course, that he might. Oh man, you spotted me. It is possible that he might. But note that there's actually no overt reference to that. He is the friend of like birds and beasts specifically, right? Birds are particularly his friends. So that's not to say that he's not at all going to be interested in trees, but he doesn't. Treebeard implies that Gandalf is himself more interested in trees than Radagast is. I would, I don't know, I would remind folks that Radagast's whole character is not extremely well developed in Tolkien's mind at almost any point, really. But certainly not by the time Treebeard says that. So when Radagast gets the main element of Radagast's character that gets kind of filled out a little bit more later on is the fact that he is associated with Yavanna. When in the essay on the Astari, Tolkien gives a little bit more of the background of, invents more of the background for the wizards, who they were, why they volunteered to come to Middle-earth in the first place, and therefore, by extension, to some extent anyway, what exactly, the nature of their, interests, their quests are. Was that a challenge guy? Yeah, that's a warrior troll challenge, dude. Yeah, so when he does it, when Tolkien does get there, at last, in coming up with sort of more backstory for Radagast, or something like backstory for Radagast, then he attaches him to Yavanna, and we know that Yavanna does really care about trees. So sort of retroactively, Radagast is kind of invested with at least the potential care for trees. But it also does kind of fit Gandalf's character. One of the things that we see with Gandalf is him... here we go. Count? I don't want to just count. Okay, loosen the wheels. Okay, there we go. Some little sabotage, if I can't set them on fire, at least. I would think so. 10 siege engines? Oh, good grief. That's a lot of siege engines. All right, let's try one of these warrior dudes. See how we do. Hopefully we don't have to get too many of these. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, great. Yeah, there's another one coming. Perfect. Oh, he didn't quite come close enough. Nice. Excellent. That went well. Oh, I gotta get 6 of them? All right. We can do that. Wait, did I loosen this dude's wheel? No, I did not. Uh-oh. Just tap in on that guy. Somebody else coming to kill all my trolls. Hey, if you're the person who's in this valley and you're watching the stream, could you please not? I'd really appreciate that. Thanks. Okay. So this is another one of the brutes, so we'll try that. Yeah, anyway, so look, we can only take Treebeard's word for it, right? If Treebeard says that Gandalf is the only one who really cares about trees, you know, then who would know better than Treebeard, right? And it clearly, more than anything else, is a testimony to Gandalf's character, right? To sort of who Gandalf is and what he stands for, and that is caring about like the little things, right? I mean, there's I think meant to be a kind of connection between his a kind of connection between his being the only wizard who really cares for trees and his interest in hobbits, basically. You know, those two are both things that he, you know, show that he is interested in things that other people don't care about, that he invests in things that other people overlook. You know, there are no others among the wise who go in for hobbit lore, but he has, because it's because he sees that they are worthy in themselves. Like they are, he likes them, he admires them. And of course his investment in hobbits is, you know, very roundly paid off during the quest for the ring. So I think that in the moment when Treebeard says that, that seems to me clearly the sort of context that we're supposed to be hearing that in, really. And by the way, you notice I'm remembering to use Find Weakness? A little inspiration of mine. Maybe eventually, by the time Gryfflet has worked his way all the way up to like level 130, I'll actually be like remembering to use most of, the burglar skills. Who knows? It could happen. It's just possible. How many? This is my 4th brute. Okay. They're not so bad. Okay, did this count as 1? All right. And that's 7, all right. Well, they're really short-sighted, apparently. I don't need any more pullers. I need 2 more warrior trolls and 3 more siege engines. And is this not where the trail of felled trees was leading me? I still have 3 more felled trees. Oh, what does this guy count as? The troll handler. Am I going to get a landscape quest for him? No time like the present. Let's see, I'm going to loosen the wheel from the other side here. There we go. We can help them. Defenders of Helm's Deep. Hey! Working on Kindred now with the Helmingas. There we go. Okay, let's see. So no quest for the troll handler, so I'm going to leave him alone. What do I need? I just need 2 more warrior trolls. Like this chap standing in the corner. Okay. Great. All right, let's see. Let's see, Lady Eleni, not sure how to pronounce here. Oops, not the button I meant to hit. Okay. Can't see anything above this dude's knees, but I assume he's going to be falling soon. Oof, right on top of me, more or less. Okay, 1 more of those. Hang on a second, let me check through. Okay, yes. So Lady Eleni was asking, do I see Galadriel's willingness to help Frodo as a kind of sacrifice? Since Nenya and the One Ring are linked and Nenya would lose power if the One Ring was gone? Definitely. Galadriel's willingness to help Frodo is certainly a kind of sacrifice, and on multiple levels. It's not only so. Let's kind of start that from the beginning, shall we? Galadriel, not him. Galadriel is tempted by Frodo's offer to give her the ring, and the reason she is tempted is that remember that in so many cases it is a means and ends question, right? The temptation, when good people face temptation, when evil people face temptation, like how they become evil, is when they are tempted, generally, to use wrong means to achieve good ends. And when those means sort of increasingly become the ends themselves. So, for instance, even the will to dominate the wills of others, like, what guides Sauron, what is the, one of the, sort of most characteristically sort of evil desire, right, is that desire to dominate others in Tolkien's world. Oh, I get a necklace for this, huh? Polished copper, I assume. Yeah. Put that thing on. Yeah, so okay, I think I can sneak out and go back to looking for felled trees. Though I suspect this was the place that the felled trees were meant to be leading me. Oops. Got turned around there. Okay. Anyway, so even the desire to dominate the wills of others is itself a means and ends question, right? Like, why do they want to dominate the wills of others? Well, presumably because they feel that they have a good plan, right? They have a plan for how they want things to go, right? They wish to rule the world at their will, not just because they're like intrinsically evil, but because that's a general temptation, to, you've got a plan, right? You have a vision for how you want things to be. Other people are not going along with your vision. And so, you need to, sometimes, you've just got to, oh, there's another filled tree. So sometimes you just got to force people, for their own good, right? To see sense, right? To go along with the best plan, which is obviously yours, right? I mean, that's kind of how it begins. That's how I assume it began even for Melkor, right? He wanted to rule the world. Why did he want to rule the world, right? Because he felt like he was the one who should obviously be ruling the world. Anyway, so as I say, it's a means and ends question. Galadriel is a fascinating sort of link in that chain, right? It's easy to look at did I not already discover the source of the felled trees? What? Yeah, I think it's the camp, right? I have to go back. Yeah, I think the problem is I started the felled tree path in the middle instead of at the end. Yeah. Anyway, so Galadriel is a fascinating example, as I say. Oh, there we go. That's right. Okay, very good. No, certainly not a safe path, though much safer now than it was since I've slain a whole bunch of the trolls, but okay. Good. Okay, so we're going to get whole big side quest sets for each section of each scouting here. It's not a simple scouting expedition. All right, but back to the road. Let's mount up and put on my hat. Okay. Great. So, as I say, I attempt to finish this sentence. Galadriel is a really fascinating point because she is good, right? And we can easily see, like Sam. Sam is wonderful, but Sam doesn't get it, right? Sam himself almost attempts, as it were, to tempt Galadriel to do the wrong thing. He says she's good, right? So she is going to, she's obviously going to do the right thing. She would make people pay for their dirty work, right? So since she's a good person, it would be a good thing. It would be a good thing for her to... Okay, here we go. Let's see. Check for signs of life. Oh, dear. Let's just hope that rider doesn't come back quick. Search the slain. Oh, no. Okay, right. I'm checking the refugees for sign of life. I was already doing that. No, it's the roving murderers ahead. Examine the remains of the horse. Oh, dear. Oh. Look, I've summoned the minions. All right. Oh. No, it's this assailant that is my problem, right? Apparently he's not going to stay and wait for me, so... Here, can you at least, Mr. Assailant, come over here? This seems a nice glade. Or maybe ride with me in a nice tight circle, not close to those other dudes. Right, so Sam says, basically, he's willing to trust Galadriel, right? You have good intentions, Galadriel, right? I would believe that if you had more power, you would do good with it instead of evil. You would make people pay for their dirty work. You would be on the right side. And she would. Or as she says, that at least is how it would begin. That's exactly the line of reasoning that Sam engages in with Galadriel there, you know, when he is opining that she should take the ring, is precisely the line of reasoning that leads people to fall. Poor Sam is leading Galadriel into temptation, right? Though he doesn't realize it. All very recently dead. They've all been brutally slain. Sorry we didn't find even one survivor there. Okay, off to the river. So there's all of that stuff, even before we get to the question. You know, so, but Galadriel herself is tempted. Galadriel herself thinks this way as well. She's one of the clearest examples that we get of somebody who is clearly good. Someone who is clearly good and yet who is tempted by power, right? Tempted by, because she wants the power to do good, right? To accomplish her good ends. But nothing is evil in the beginning. Even Sauron was not so. That's how Sauron began too. That's how Melkor began too. Desiring good and seeking the power to do more good, right? To be more effective in doing good. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can find any dangerous spots. Follow the rivulet. I have to say, though, I do feel like I'm scouting a little bit more thoroughly than in most scouting quests I've done. The way that the narrative is shaped in this scouting quest is I actually like it better than a lot of scouting quests we've been asked to do in the past. Anyway, so we see Galadriel tempted, but she turns away from that. And that is an act of sacrifice. Of course, it's not only an act of sacrifice, it's also an act of faith, right? An act of trust. She's not going to insist on taking things into her own hands. In the end, that's one of the main things that it's about, right? That temptation. That's the... Okay, I should follow the right fork. Okay. We're going to continue to fork our way down, huh? In the end, it's about faith. When you think about Saruman's speech to Gandalf, right? Saruman's speech to Gandalf, was talking about not just like the new, order that is rising and stuff like that. But he was talking about how their desire to accomplish their good ends has been thwarted. And it doesn't have to be anymore, right? We can make this stuff happen ourselves if we just take things into our own hands. But no comments on all the wargs I'm seeing here. I mean, there are a lot of wargs prowling. I'm going to get down here and then I just have to kill a bunch of the wargs. Is that where we're headed here? Anyway, the desire to take things into their own hands. Again, I quote Galadriel. What is the right choice to make? What is the right attitude to have? What should you want? That what should be shall be. You should trust that what should be shall be. And she does make that choice. Sending the ring off is an act of faith by everybody, right? It requires Estel. It requires hope. And Estel is the kind of hope that is very near to faith. It is very closely tied to faith, to a belief that things are going to work out the way that they should work out, that that ultimately God and the Valar are in control, basically, is sort of what Estel comes down to. She ends up showing that faith. Okay, hey, look, great. Seems the safest route. Okay, lots of wargs, but we don't mind about the wargs. Excellent. Who cares about a few wargs? That's what I say. Yeah. Better wargs than trolls, Hologro. I so agree. Absolutely agree. All right, so I'll head back up to Agelwin and tell her where to go. And then, can Helm's Deep be seen from there? Oh, in the night, it's a little bit hard. But pretty close. I mean, we're pretty close to Helm's Dyke there. I'm going to go. Yep, let's just go right through the middle of town, shall we? I'm wearing my invisibility hat. So I would say this is the primary thing. The fact that her own elf ring would be diminished in power if the One Ring and destroyed, that's certainly an act of sacrifice. And I don't want to totally downplay that entirely, right? I don't want to skip that. But that seems to me actually the secondary sacrifice on Galadriel's part. Once she's already done the big step, which is to make the choice, not to... Oh, man, I'm forgetting. How do I get up in there again? Is it this way? Okay, here's the road. I think, yeah, I'm too far to this side this time. Anyway, the big choice for Galadriel is whether or not to take the Ring of Power. In a sense, that's like cutting out the middleman, right? What she's been able to accomplish with her elf ring, she would be much better able to accomplish. And in a sense, much more directly, right? She wants to have her will done, you know, and to order things as she wills. She's a good guy, right? She has good plans for things and certainly wants to order them. The One Ring is her ticket. She could do it, right? In saying no to that, she's not just saying no to that mechanism, but trying to cling to the other, right? Being willing to allow the Elven Ring to dwindle is a minor deal compared to turning down the One Ring, right? She's already oriented herself. She's already made that decision, which says, I'm going to continue forward in faith. I'm going to trust that the Valar know what they're doing, you know, that Iluvatar has a plan, and I am not going to seek to increase my own power so that I can make everything happen exactly like I want it to happen. And so therefore she passes the test. She makes the sacrifice. I agree with you. Oh, person with no vowels in your name. You're right. Lewis does make a similar point in Perelandra about letting things happen as they're supposed to happen rather than forcing things to happen as you want them. Absolutely. It's a, and one of the things I would point out there, Nimulquist, is that one of the things that connects those two things, that is the Galadriel story and Perelandra, what they both have in common is that in both of those stories, the story of Galadriel and in Perelandra as a whole, both authors are thinking about temptation. Both of them are depicting, essentially, what does it look like for someone who really is good to fall? Both of them are really interested in this question, right? Evil people, evil characters like villains, they're not born that way, right? They're not just like congenitally evil. And this is one of the things that is so frustrating to me, when people will still at times voice the traditional hackneyed, ridiculously inaccurate criticism of Tolkien, saying all of his characters are completely black or completely white. There are no shades of gray. That is nonsense. Tolkien did a wonderful job of depicting shades of gray, of showing that trail. How is it that a good person with good intentions, trying to do the right thing, ends up falling and becoming a villain? How does that happen? How do you get there? And there are not very many people, there are not very many stories that have depicted that really compellingly. Tolkien shows it, and he shows it in various different places. You know, when you put together the careers of Galadriel and Boromir and Denethor and Saruman, right, and Gandalf, right? You look at this whole array, right, of people, and Aragorn, the temptations that they have, the temptations they give into, how they end, you know, the choices they make. Tolkien does a lot of really scrutinizing this question. And Nimulquist, just as you pointed out, Perelandra is all about that, right? Perelandra is C.S. Lewis's attempt to envision, how is it that Adam and Eve fall, right? If you have a sinless creature, right? How could a sinless creature be led to sin? How does that desire get in there at all if it's not there from the beginning? Because a lot of attempts to kind of talk about original sin, you know, talk about the sin of Adam and Eve, sort of presumes sinful desires on their part, right? That like they just failed to resist the temptation to sin, but they're not even supposed to have the temptation in the first place. So how do they get there? Why is that bridge crossed? So anyway, both of them are dealing with a very similar kind of question. How is it that good motivations from good people can lead people to do wrong things, and lead them down a bad path. So, yeah, Phil, I agree. It is the fashion to take villains and show their origin stories. But I agree. I think that most modern depictions, most modern like superhero stories and stuff where we get these sympathetic depictions of the villain. One example I would point to there, Phil, which I thought did it really interestingly, was the Netflix Daredevil series with Wilson Fisk's character. I thought that was really interestingly depicted, and very well done. But what they did not do is really show that path. Like they showed his childhood trauma, right, which led him to make this, but they don't show him making, what they don't show is like how he believes that he is still good in his own eyes, right? They don't really let you see, exactly as you say, Phil, that where they actually start out good. They succeed. That is, the series, I think, succeeds in rousing pity for Wilson Fisk to some extent, right? To be able to have some compassion, like you can see, the tragic childhood circumstances of abuse and things that might lead one to do bad things that would contribute to this. But it's still not the same. Like raising pity for the villains is good, but I find very few depictions of villains that go far beyond raising pity, right? Helping us to kind of see things from their point of view. But they don't really deal, in a sense, with the moral issues, if you see what I mean. But as I say, this is a thing that I think Tolkien does really, really well. And that certainly in Perelandra, Lewis does really well. Perelandra is, in my opinion, the second greatest of C.S. Lewis's works of fiction. I love the Chronicles of Narnia, but Perelandra is a greater work of fiction than the Chronicles of Narnia. Not as great as Till We Have Faces, which is, whew. But anyway, okay. To the river, then. I mourn for our lands and for the people who met their doom upon roads that should be safe to travel. I only pray that we do not share their fate. Me too. Do I need to protect you all? I suppose we must make ready now. Would you be so kind as to ready the horses and gather anything that we might need? We must travel light, but I expect some spears and shields would come in handy. If we do not need them, the guardians of the Hornburg will want them. Okay. I knew it would come to doing errands sooner or later. That's okay. I'm happy to help. All right, collecting saddles and spears and shields. Come on, guys. You couldn't bestir yourselves to pick these things up yourselves. You're just like sitting around right there. Up and at 'em, folks. I mean, I don't mind doing all the work, I guess, but... Okay. Now I gotta saddle the horses. Okay, Elston. Let's go. Saddle up, everybody. No, it's okay. You guys can lounge. I got this. Okay. Horses are saddled. Horses shall be saddled. Spears shall be gathered. I hoped you would take longer, for I dread this next step. Okay. All right. Fourth. What would they be? Gladsuningas? Something like that? Okay, let's do it.
Acting as Thane, Agelwin must now venture out and lead her people to the safety of the Hornburg, where Theoden King plans to make his stand against the vast forces of Isengard.
Yeah. Address the people. Do it. I have asked you to gather to tell you that it is time for us to leave. That's right. I've come to realize that Martin is lost to us. The Fords have fallen and Rohan is at war. The Westfold belongs to the enemy. Our friend here has gone to great lengths to find us a safe path to Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep? You would have us abandon our homes? They're burned down. What is wrong with you? I know it's difficult, but we must flee. It is our best hope. It is what Gladsunu wanted. You are unfit to lead a mouse to cheese, if this is your solution. You are a moron. It pains me, but I must insist. Ready yourselves at once. You would rather die? Beat him down, Elstan. There's no need. Well, there might be a need for violence, actually. I'm not sure I agree with you there. You may all defy me if you wish. I will not oppose you, but I beg you to reconsider for your own safety. Not resisting us is the first wisdom I have heard from you. I'm not sure I can agree with you there. Agelwin's speech did not go as well as she hoped, but several people are still willing to follow her. Okay, what are those idiots going to do? They're going back to retake Martin? Are they? Okay. That did not go well, but it is done. I will not look back now. Let us get this journey over with. That's good. Undeterred. Oh, here we are. Oh, look, the refugees have multiplied. We have been blessed with a safe journey thus far. I hope it stays that way. Helm's Deep draws near. I have a terrible feeling that I'm going to be expected to protect you. There are roving orcs over there, but if we just stay on our path, we'll be fine. No. Go this way. Between the orcs. See, there's orcs over there and orcs over there, but just go down the middle. What are you guys waiting for? I guess I have to kill the orcs. Okay, just hang on. Wait right there. Don't move. I'll take care of it. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Okay. I think we should be fine. Oh, it's the Arc Leader. Perhaps I should heal or something here. Should still be able to take him 1-to-1 here. Yeah, well, if I need help, I'll drag them over there, but honestly, I'm just as happy to do it this way, if I can manage. Okay. So far, so good. You guys are doing a great job staying put. That's just what I like to see. Orc leader doing the breaststroke in my direction is kind of funny. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Down to the last guy, but I'm going to need a little help here. Especially if he keeps disarming me or whatever. Okay, stunning him should help. Ooh, this is close. Alright, come on. Hey, Elston, can you give me a hand here? I almost got him, but I don't want to die on account of... Elston jumped into the river. Really? You jumped into the river and you're going to shoot him from there? Are you throwing things at him? Oof. Elston, what is your plan? That is ridiculous. Hey, good job, Elston. Your plan worked perfectly. Who could criticize? Okay. Okay, if they're all going to gallop off after Elston, I might as well try it this way. This is much more tedious. Did Elston jump in the river again? Where did he go? Where are the other orcs? Chasing people around? This is tedious, but since I hadn't fully healed when the battle started, it seems just as well. It's a little safer. Agelwin, you're doing a great job spectating. You just stay right there. Oh, there goes Elston. Are the other two orcs dead? I don't think so. Okay, this is going to take some time. Let's see. Okay. All right, Elston. Any help you can give would be helpful. If you could attack him more than once every 15 seconds, that would be good. Oh, you killed my horse? Carry on, I shall avenge you. Much more swiftly. Okay. And is there another orc? Yeah, there is. Oh, Elston is fighting him hand to hand. Great. Oh, wow. Somebody to tank for me? Elston, you shouldn't have. Okay. Just healing over here for a minute, guys. Oh my goodness, how many waves are there? I'm just going to stand in the river. I'm going to do the Elston plan here. Oh, they're already fighting refugees, huh? I got their attention. Okay, guys. Come on, orcs. Come over here. We need to get Elston's attention. Let him jump in the river again. Okay. There we go. Now I should be able to take you two out, hopefully, if all goes well. Okay. Well, it's nice to have just a little bit of help. Makes this a little quicker. Oh, good. Agelwin is on the move. My goodness. There she goes. Let's see. Gowan for life. Have I heard the latest Amazon show news? I'm not sure what the latest news is. Is there particular news that you're referring to? You recognize this person. You saw these refugees on the road when you first entered the Westfold. Oh no, they never made it to Helm's Deep. Oh dear. Innocent people murdered by the White Hand. Let us mourn them. I knew them, yes. It is very sad.
What brings you to these lands?
They were like us, were they not? Unarmed people fleeing to the Hornburg for safety? Helm's Deep is so near. Yes, let us continue. Oh. Continue in the ending the instant sense. Okay. You're welcome, Agelwin. I hope Godsunu is still alive. He's not in the song, but that only means maybe he survives the whole thing. That could be very good news, or it could be very bad news, I suppose. It was good of you to rally these people. I believe the women will be safe in the glittering caves, and the men will be put to good use upon the battlements. The lady hopes to see you within, but she said to bid you farewell if you insisted upon going back out into the fray. I wouldn't mind saying goodbye.
We have need of you.
I still urge you to come within, but it would seem that you still have still had no word of Erkenbrand, Grimbold, or any of the others. What do you wish to do? You take your leave of gambling. You must search the town of Grimslade now, for that is where Grimbold is Thane. I wish you a safe journey and a speedy one at that. Let's go to Grimslade, absolutely. So, I'm just going to, like, see Agelwin, but I don't get a quest for her, huh? Okay. All right, off to Grimslade. Hey, can I just say the Martin quest, the Martin story, right? As the Martin story was unfolded through those quest chains was so much more satisfying than the Rohirric towns I have been visiting of late. So much better than, more satisfying than Woodhurst and I'm still in the Deeping Combe? Really? Not even on this map. I must be riding. Okay, there we go. Finally. Must have been going right on the very top edge of the map space there. Okay. So if I follow this road, this is the one that goes back to Dunharrow, so I need to cut straight cross country here. Okay. Here's that river I knew I was going to have to cross. Oh, I'm limp swimming now. That's not good. Okay, there we go. Yeah, well, so Drosnik, it's not the, the similarities that bothered me. It was the lack of closure, sort of unreasonableness. There were all of these, ominous warnings that the quests just seem to be leaving behind. I still don't trust that dude in Woodhurst. And so far from feeling like, I helped things and solved problems, I feel like I caused problems and knew I was doing it all along. It's just really unsatisfying in that way. Okay, we've got lots of orcs through here. Wait, who is that dude? Oh, Scout. Ally of Scouting Half-Orc. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna ride the road in town rather than coming in through the back door. Okay, so the wolf is at the door here. The road's right on the other side of this little river. Whee! Nice. Can ford the river. Okay, so here's the road. All right, approaching Grimslade from the north. Let's get the full effect. Hope you guys are barricaded because you are surrounded. Oh, what's their banner? The red banners, I see, just like we had the saddle for Grimslade. Oh, the mountain. Oh. Interesting. Is that meant to be the... Trying to see the banner. Is that meant to be the sun there? It almost looks like a halo over the mountain. But it's not the Halifirian. Okay. Find someone in Grimslade who might have information. How about the stablemaster? Hey, stablemaster, do you have information?
These are desperate times for the Rohirrim.
You only go to Helm's Deep, huh? One-way trip, but that is just where I'm going to want to go fairly soon, because I believe this is our last step. Our last stop. Oh, hang on, I never did that camp. I bet you I know. We're going to do Grimslade down here, and then we're going to be like, let's go to the Fords of Isen, right? And explore up there, and that's going to lead us to the camp. Bet you that's the sequence. Okay, oh dear, we're almost out of time. Let's see. What is this, a tavern? It's a storehouse, okay. All right, we'll keep looking. Nice town. I'll head to the mead hall. Okay, oh sorry, Going for Life, you were saying the OneRing.net shared a couple things. Sauron's not showing up in the first season. Nudity confirmed but non-sexual. Okay. And apparently some Unfinished Tales material seemed to... Well, look. I, for one, needed no confirmation of Unfinished Tales material. People seem most upset about elves with short hair. Really? Really? That's what we're worrying about? Elves with short hair. Can anyone show me a passage in The Lord of the Rings that suggests firmly that no elves have short hair? Like, is there a reason that's canon? Tolkien, this is exactly the kind of thing that Tolkien does not describe. Like, he doesn't give descriptions of people very much at all. Uh-oh. It's a bad sign. Grimbold, what are you doing here? You see the problem, right? What's the problem with this mead hall? Classic blunder. No hearth. A mead hall without a hearth is a cold place. You're going to be like Ellen Fremeden if you end up with a cold mead hall like that. Hildith, like, no, slight intended, but get a hearth. What's wrong with you? I'm disappointed, Grimbold.
How could we possibly survive this?
Do you bring tidings of my husband or the soldiers of Grimslade who have gone missing from the fords? Well, no, So I've got good news and bad news about your husband. Hildith's hopeful stare turns to disappointment quickly enough as you tell her you came to beg for word of the same people. I will summon a small council to discuss the tidings you bring. You may leave my presence. I have no further need of you until I have gathered the council. Okay, speak to the townsfolk if you wish to occupy yourself. All right, that was rather peremptory. Even cold, like your mead hall. You're right. We know that Boromir has long hair. That's it. We don't know how long Legolas's hair is. We know sometimes the color of elf hair, but we don't know how they wear it. I mean, there's every reason to think it probably is long, but why could it not be short? Like, I just see it's sometimes there are things like this that, and this is going to be to me one of the most fascinating things about the reactions to the Amazon show, is, and I will warn people in advance. I aim to be a little cantankerous about this point. Not cantankerous, that's not the right word. But I aim to be a little bit of a pain about it. Because what I want to push at is how much of people's objections are rooted in their familiar. Like people will talk about like they're doing Tolkien wrong, right? This is they're not doing it right. But is what they're objecting to deviations from the texts, or is what they're objecting to deviations from Peter Jackson, right? Is how deeply have Peter Jackson's films influenced your mental picture of Middle-earth? And I think that's likely to be a kind of index to a bunch of people's reactions to the Amazon show. I really do. And honestly, this long hair thing seems to me totally that. Yeah. Right. Edith Aldora says, I remember when the Jackson films came out and one guy was irate that they didn't cast an actor who was canonically tall enough to play Aragorn. I'm sorry, dude, but Manute Bol already had a job. Yeah. So anyway, there's, no, I mean, and honestly, I very strongly feel that if you're getting upset about things like that, if you're getting upset about the idea that the elves have short hair, like re-examine your choices. Like I'm not saying it's not okay. You're welcome to your own opinion and stuff, but like I would invite you to like reconsider your life, right? Not your whole life, right? But like, why are you this invested in this particular idea, right? Try letting some of the little things go and just seeing, like, give the story a chance, right? I have no idea how good the Amazon thing is going to be, but I am totally willing to give it a chance. I'm really interested to see the story that they tell and how they interact with the text. And I'm willing to give them all kinds of benefit of the doubt. And to get all worked up about really superficial things like that, you know, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. Going for Life. I am really looking forward to doing a frame by frame analysis of the first trailer that we get for sure. Let's see. Let me try to remember. If they have light infantry leaping to place themselves between heavy infantry and a charging enemy, you're out. JJ, look, I'm totally with you on that. I felt exactly the same. Honestly, I could deal with the sandworms more easily than I could deal with that. I'm just like, what do you expect? What do you expect us to like, seriously? I can't, but I agree with you. Okay. Sorry, but, Gowan for Life, I'm going back to your comments. Other things. Yeah. The nudity thing. Oh, Unfinished Tales. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So, Unfinished Tales. Well, hang on. Let me talk to this kid who's like, what? Kicking an invisible dog? What are you even doing, Grimwald? Seriously. I am Grinwald, son of Grimbold. Hey, cool. My father is away at the forge and now my mother is staying in his place. Where are you from? You have very strange clothing.
Welcome, my friend.
My mother will not let me in the mead hall when she is acting as Thane, so I stay out here and run around. Would you care to have a race? Really? This is what we're doing? We're racing Race to where? I don't know. I've never been in this town before. He's kicking the guard? Grimbold.
Welcome, and well met, my friend.
Can I mount my horse? Am I allowed to mount my horse? All right. I'm running to the front gate. I do know where that is. But I'll play fair. I wouldn't mind letting Grimwald win. Which way to the gate? This way, right? That's the gate. And there he's waiting there.
Welcome, Welcome, stranger from
I told you I am very fast. Did you care to have another race? Okay, Grimwald, this is a fun game. This is a fun game. I cannot talk now. If you wish to make yourself useful, help us make more arrows. Oh man, this is classic. War is coming. No, it's here. I fear we haven't made enough arrows to supply the walls, and the merchants haven't been through with the large order I made weeks ago. We have to make our own, but we haven't enough hands for the job. Okay, make arrows. Is there an arrow making table? Do I have to go inside? Maybe I go inside. Yeah, okay. All right, we're making arrows. Okay. This is good. Okay, so Unfinished Tales. So Gowan for Life, there is no need at all to confirm that they are using Unfinished Tales material. That's obvious. All you have to do is read Unfinished Tales. I mean, we know nothing about Numenor. Everything that they've said, it's not just about Numenor we don't know anything about. Like, the entire background, we have only the sketchiest views of the Second Age from everything but Unfinished Tales. So the very idea that they're doing Second Age stuff, I guess I've picked up like bunches of them now, so we're good. The fact that they're doing the Second Age material at all, they wouldn't even be able to like talk about Numenor practically, much less depict it without doing Unfinished Tales stuff. So no, I mean, I just recently reread Unfinished Tales, and when I was kind of going through, it was one of the things that was absolutely inescapable to me as I was reading it is, yeah, this is the only material they've got, practically the only material they've got. So my last read through of Unfinished Tales left me 100% convinced they are obviously using Unfinished Tales. And that, let me emphasize, is a big freaking deal. That's the biggest thing of all of the news, of everything that has come out of the Amazon thing so far. That is by far the biggest news. It is the first time ever in history that something besides The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings has been licensed for adaptation. It has never been done. And so what else might be contained? What else is contained in that $500 million rights deal that Amazon made with the Tolkien estate? Yeah, Edith is wondering how the rights for the Unfinished Tales books work. They never have worked before, but we know that Amazon made a new rights deal. The first new rights deal to be made since like the 60s, basically. The rights deal that Lotro is working under, that Peter Jackson worked under, all of that stuff. Every other adaptation that has happened has all been under the original deal that Tolkien made in the 60s. This is the first new rights deal that has ever been made since then. And also, if you remember when this happened, two things were announced within like a day of each other. First, the new rights deal was announced. And then Christopher stepped down as chair of the Tolkien estate. He retired as chair of the Tolkien estate. Now, of course, he was aged and I think not well already at the time. So there's lots of reasons for him. I mean, it was a natural time for him to step down anyway. But the coincidence of those two things, I don't mean to suggest that Christopher was like leaving in disgust or something like that, or that like he was forced out in order to enable this. But the two things are clearly connected in the sense that Christopher's departure from the Tolkien estate, from the active governance of the Tolkien estate, led into the new post-Christopher world, right? And the very first thing that happens in the new post-Christopher world of the Tolkien estate is the new rights deal with Amazon, right? Those two things cannot possibly be non-coincident. Can be, they can't possibly be coincidentally connected. Anyway, yeah. And what is in the rights deal has been the deepest and darkest of secrets from everybody. That's been the deep bit. I mean, everything about the Amazon series has been cloaked in mystery, but that's been cloaked in special mystery from the very beginning. Yeah. Anyway, that's but they have unfinished tales. And so it is now perfectly obvious that the new rights deal contains access to Tolkien works that have never... So what else might it include? And I don't know. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting. Wasn't there, I didn't see it myself. I've been on the road and stuff. I heard that there was a mention that I was mentioned on the OneRing.net recently, that it was like confirmed or something that like Dimitra Fimi and I had been on the set of the Amazon show. I heard some reference to the fact that the OneRing.net said that about me personally recently. That's not true. I must sadly say that that's not true. I have not, in fact, been on the set of the Amazon show. I have not contributed to the Amazon show at all. I know nothing about the Amazon show. So yeah, I have not been connected. I have not been part of that production at any point. So I can confirm at least one of the rumors that the OneRing.net is appears to be, at least that I've heard. If anyone has seen that reference, you can clarify for me. Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but one of my friends saw it and told me about it, and I was like, "What? No." Anyway, so they're not always correct about everything. Is the long and short of it. Yeah. Going for Life says, of course, if it was true, that's exactly what they would pay you to say. No, if it were true, Gowan, I would be saying, I can't say anything about that, is what I would be saying. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Last minute gathering. Okay. If you find yourself outside the gates of Grimslade, please pick any edible roots or plants you find. Many of our townsfolk gather their food from the surrounding forest, but they say it is far too dangerous, and they go hungry. Okay? Gather root vegetables.
We are a strong lot.
Merchants are nowhere to be found since things got bad in the Westfold, and we've not had any supplies coming in. I fear that soon our gates will close against the tide of enemies. We do not have enough food to survive a long siege. Okay, so vegetables and meat, huh? Okay, can do. Whoa, that's ranging quite far afield. Oh, are the vegetables that they are? Okay, no, the vegetables are more local. Okay, good. Locally grown vegetables and free-range meat. Okay, sounds sensible. Okay, it is time. I gotta go. So we will return to chores around Grimslade next time, and then probably head up towards the Fords of Isen. I think we should be. We should be. So I hope next week. Maybe we can finish. I don't know if we'll be able to finish all of the non-Helm's Deep parts, but we're getting there, man. We're getting there. We're getting close. Old Grimwald will have to wait. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna. I suspect he's gonna beat me to the South Gate anyway, so I'll give them a little week-long head start. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I will see you guys again next week. Looking forward to that as we continue to close in on the Battle of Helm's Deep here in our completionist view of the Rohan story. So thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks now. Bye. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.